guys, it's Dave and welcome to the Weird Kid Show. It's awesome having you back today. So I'm continuing on with the bottle theme, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit. We were doing some bigger ones here. We're going to scale it way down. These are these little bottles. I think I told you about it. Little mini glass containers, okay? I got these at Dollar Tree. Alright. Don't need to tell you the price. Alright, and they're just these little glass bottles. And they got like an aluminum cap on them. Nothing special. Nothing spectacular. But, look what we can do with them. We can do stuff like this. Okay? This is a little stash bottle, if you will. The cap's I've sculpted over the cap. And then I've sculpted the bottle itself, and it's still a functional bottle. The cap screws on. Okay, and I think I got a cross thread there. And you can put whatever you want in here, you know. You might even be able to fit a key, like a little house key in there, your medication, anything, little keepsakes, or you could even just use it as a little decoration on your shelf. This guy here, I had no plans. I don't know, I just jumped in and I was sculpting with the kids, actually. I didn't have no cameras rolling, and we just sat down and started doing something. You got to do that sometimes. It can't always be about work and making videos. Sometimes you just got to let your hair down and enjoy the art itself. You know, that's why we're here. So yeah, the first thing that I do with these, which I'm going to show you, is I just completely cover them with Sculpey. Alright, this has already been baked in the oven, 275 for 20 minutes. It's hard, it's cured. Alright, so now this is ready to be sculpted on. When I put the clay on these, I wipe them down with baby oil, because that's going to smooth it out better, and it's going to take my fingerprints out of it. You can also take sandpaper to it after if you want it even smoother, but we're going to do like creatures, or at least I'm going to. So you want a rough texture on the skin anyways, okay? What you want to do is you want to push it flat, because I put Sculpey on the bottom too. Push it down flat on a flat surface, and then make sure it's level. You can do it by eye, or you can get an actual level, and then pop it in the oven, 20 minutes. Now you have a base to start working on, okay? And now this one here features a glass cabochon. Now I've got bunches of them here. I got a whole box full of them. Alright, these are glass cabochons, and they come in all shapes and sizes. There's a green one. Might use that one today. I like that yellow one too. It's kind of zombie-ish. You got pink, which is this guy's got like a reddish. I wanted him to match his little mushroom type top. Okay, and they will take the heat in the oven. You don't have to worry about damages. You know, can't use plastic. It's gonna melt. And then I used on this particular one acrylic teeth, which come in packs like this. Okay, and you can buy them on Amazon. There's some mixed stuff in there. My kids were playing with it. These are pretty much all molars. I need to find one that's got actual, there's a couple of front teeth in there. Anyways, yeah, I found that because Sculpey cures at such a low temperature, 275 is not very hot. Okay, and it's at such a short period of time, 20 minutes per quarter inch, I think it is. These only need 20 minutes. It's not very thick, and it's I can assure you it's cured at 20 minutes, and it's low enough. It's a low enough heat that it's not going to melt those acrylic teeth, okay, or cause any kind of damages. So let's get into this, guys. Last night I did 4 of these. Alright, we're going to play around. I might not necessarily use acrylic teeth. One of the other things you can do too is when you go to the craft store, like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, you can look for, they sell it where they sell the Sculpey. This is a Sculpey product too, but it's their Primo line. and it comes in these little squares like this. This is about $2.79, not including tax, depending on where you're from, if you have to pay tax or not, sales tax. And this, they come in all kinds of colors, and then they have some that's in translucent. That's translucent, and this is a translucent polymer clay. These are great for making your own teeth. All right. One night I just sat down and just rolled out hundreds of teeth. I guess it was 100. Yeah, there's probably a couple hundred in there. Different shapes and sizes. Pretty much there's a lot of them that are big, and they might be too big for little creatures like this. So what I can do is I can cut off the tips of these. I think I'm going to use some of these tonight just to kind of mix it up. But this is another thing. You could fill an entire shelf with literally hundreds of these and literally not have the same one. The combinations are absolutely endless when it comes to these things, okay? So, got my Sculpey. This is the packaging. It used to come in a box. They might still do, but lately I've been seeing them in this kind of a package here. Now I just use the regular old Sculpey, ladies and gentlemen, which is the white stuff here. I know a lot of artists buy either Super Sculpey, or they start getting into some of the higher ones like the Firm, which is gray, and the Super Sculpey is the same, pretty much the same color as this Primo. And have people have a lot of luck with them. They say it, you can get details in it better and all this and that, but I'm happy with this. Okay, it's not to say someday I'm not going to venture down that road. This is inexpensive compared to the other ones. Super Sculpey costs more, and all the other ones cost more. This here, like I said, $2.79. This is about half of what this costs. This is like $5 and something cents. Let's say $6. Not bad. It won't break the bank. And you can get a tremendous amount of bottles out of just one brick. It's 1 pound. It comes in 1 pound. When I go to Walmart, I find this at Walmart in the craft section. I'll tend to buy 2 or 3 if I can find them. People seem to be catching on. They're disappearing a lot quicker now. But when you get it, it's pretty firm. And what you need to do, or at least what I do, is I just sit there and I knead it in my hands. And the warmth from my hands will soften it and make it more pliable. Okay? So we got our glass bottle, and it's been covered in polymer clay and baked in the oven, cured. All right, and allowed to cool down before I touch it. We don't want anybody hurt. This stuff is super hot, so you want to be careful and allow more time to cool down. Okay, we got our Sculpey clay. We need that. We need some different sculpting tools. You know, this is some of the stuff I've got. You can buy some pretty cheap kits. I think they sell them at Walmart in the craft section as well, but you can find them at Hobby Lobby. So I pick up things like this, little dental tools along the way. I can find them at flea markets and all this and that. But if you don't have that stuff, don't worry about it. Okay, I know that times are tough. Not everybody is flush, you know. Some of us have to pinch our pennies and watch our bottom dollar. But that doesn't mean we still can't partake in the arts and keep the costs very low. So if you can't find that stuff, things like this work too. This is a good substitute. You don't even have to buy them. If your kid finishes a popsicle stick, wash it off, wipe it down there, save it. You got a sculpting tool. And you can do a lot of stuff with just this, you know. But your best tool is your hands, your fingers, okay? For kneading and you know, folding and all this and that, all right? So you can keep the cost low. The other thing that is kind of a necessity, I buy this at the dollar store, $1. All right, baby oil. All right, Sculpey sells a clay softener. It works good. It's designed for that. What it does is it seems to chemically react to the polymer and break it down a little bit and make it more pliable and more wet and slippery to where you can soften details or get rid of fingerprints and little blemishes and whatnot, make it smooth. So that's something you want. You're going to want to have a paintbrush that is only going to be used for your baby oil or clay softener, because you're not going to want to try to paint with this after that oil is going to, it's going to mix with your paint and everything. So I always dedicate a brush. This is my detail brush for when I sculpt with Sculpey, okay? That is really it. Paints, okay? But we're going to get there. Even the eyes, okay? If you don't have immediate access to glass cabochons, you don't have to worry about that either, all right? One of the things you can do, simply, is roll a piece of Sculpey, okay, and make a socket in your character, and then set that in place. Sculpt some eyelids on. In fact, you know what? I think I'll do a version of that using Sculpey for an eye or eyes, and I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do. And then I think I'll do one with using the glass cabochons, okay? So, I got this bottle. If you want, you can go on Google anything, monsters. If you need some reference materials or whatnot, that's perfectly fine. What I like to do is I like to just like to start sculpting, put clay on there. I know I need an eye. I think I'm gonna go, maybe this one I'll do 2 eyes, okay? So I think that's the first thing I'll do. One thing that I find is very effective, and I learned from Anthony from Ace of Clay, is to roll out Sculpey into a snake. Nice smooth snake. Now I can do a lot of things with this. I can make lips or eyebrows, or there's all kinds of stuff you can do with this, all right? But what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to put it over here. We're going to start some eyebrows, I think. All right, that's all I do is just lay it on there and position it. All right, so now it's on there. Now I'm going to go on this back side, and with my finger, I'm going to pull it down and start blending it into the existing Sculpey. Okay. Now, like I said, this is on a whim. When I do this stuff, it's on a whim. I don't know if that's... there are things I'm inspired by, but I've just always, when it comes to doing this stuff here, I've never I would really like to do this specific character, or that's not to say I have set out and I have done where, let's say, a Frankenstein. All right, but I didn't really. I know what Boris Karloff looks like. I know what Christopher Lee looked like, and but that's not the type of Frankenstein I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a universal Frankenstein. I'm not going to do a Hammer Horror Productions Frankenstein. I'm going to do my Frankenstein. And so I just begin, and I start to think about this cadaver alive, and make my own vision and make it my own. That's not to say it doesn't hurt to go and look up anatomy. So right now I'm just pinching down in the middle here. Not really sculpting it. I'm just right now I'm just getting a shape. Pulling some of the stuff down. Figuring it out as I go along here. Now I'm going to be putting some clay in here. Now what I can do is I can go right straight to the cheekbones. If I want a nose, I can add that in here now. Alright, so let's see where I'm going to go here. I don't know, you can have any kind of a nose you want. You can have a actual human looking nose if you want, or create your own. Could be just some kind of just some slits, like I don't know, reptilian, or you could go pig, or some kind of a fluffy. You know, you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't even have to be a monster. I like monsters. But you know, I like whimsical stuff as well. I enjoy it, like Tim Burton stuff like that. I really love Tim Burton style. Everything with that, you know. I really like a movie I really enjoy is Frankenweenie, about the boy's dog, and he gets hit by a car, and the kid manages to bring it back to life and stuff like that. It's a good movie, and I just really dig the characters and the designs, and I like this stuff. But that's not to say, I also, when it comes to 1/1 scale props, I get frustrated a bit with myself, because I really absolutely love realism, you know. And there's some people out there like Rob Kabowski that does this phenomenal 1/1 scale stuff that's it's awesome. It's really awesome, and I love that stuff, and really wish I could get to a point in my life where I could possibly do stuff kind of like that, you know. But when it comes to this little stuff here, I like to just do the whimsical characters and stuff like that. It's fun, and you give them little personalities and stuff like that. So I'm digging out the nostrils. I tend to do that even if my nose is a mess. When I do a nose, it looks really bad right now. When I do a nose, I just slap it on there and start getting the general shape of it. But one thing that I get stuck on and have to deal with immediately, and that's when I put the nostrils in, and then work on that little, you know, because you get that little flare on the sides of your nose, you know, here, where your nostrils are. And so I have to put that in there first, because then I'm able to start I'm able to start seeing it a little bit better, and I'm able to see where I need to add or subtract. That's just me, though. You're gonna find your way that works best for you, and that's the thing about this, and any kind of artwork, and that's what makes it great too, is that you have all these different people in the world that are super talented, but they have their own little ways of doing things, you know, and their own little touches and styles and stuff like that. And I really like that. I really love it when our trio members on Facebook, you know, I'll go in one day and then all of a sudden there's something that somebody had made that me or one of the guys had done, and it inspired somebody enough to try to do one themselves, and then they'll put their own little spin on it. They'll put their style and personality into it, and I just think that is awesome. You know, I really love seeing that stuff, seeing other people's works and what they can do. And it inspires me, you know, to be honest. I am by no means, ladies and gentlemen, a professional. I'm not an expert. I am still a student, and I will forever, as long as I live, be a student. One thing that you have to overcome is fear, you know, and doing this and stuff, fear of failure. You cannot fear failure when you're doing artwork, when you're creating something, especially if you're, see right now, I absolutely hate this nose and the way it's looking. And, you know, the eyebrows and all this and that, and it's just like, I don't know, man, you know. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not going to, you know, some people, they get frustrated. Oh, I can't do it, you know. Can't is a bad word, okay? Can't is not a good word to be using when it comes to art, because there is no wrong way. You know, your art is your art, and it's you put yourself into that art, okay? And one thing that I've learned early on is that you cannot give up. You cannot abandon a project. Well, I mean, obviously, if you're making an animatronic and all of a sudden you have an electrical issue and burn a house down, yeah, you might want to regroup, let's say. But something like this, you start working on a bottle, and it's not, you know, it's not going in the direction you want. Don't give up on it. If anything, just put it down and walk away from it for a day or two, and then come back to it. Or, you know, don't be afraid if the nose really, or eyebrow, or whatever it is you're working on, really is not working out. There's no shame in taking it off and starting over. Okay? But you'll be surprised if you're somebody who lacks in confidence in art and creating, and you get discouraged and abandon something and say, oh, I can't do it. Please just try this. Just stick it out. Just keep going, even if you don't like it. Keep going and just commit to finishing it. And I'll tell you what, I think you'll be surprised. I really do think you'll be surprised, because at some point in time, and it always seems to work that way, at some point in time, it all starts to click, and it all starts to take shape. And that's with everything I do. When I make something, I have absolutely no clue. I really don't. I have an idea. I have an idea, but I don't have an absolute clear vision on exactly how it's going to all go together, or how it's going to translate in the end. Okay? But I just keep going. I keep at it, keep going, keep at it, keep going, and at some point in time, it never fails, something clicks. And then it's like, okay, now there's a clear path to the finish line. Alright? And that's with pretty much anything, but we're talking about these bottles here today. These are fun. This is something that would be good to do with the kids. I did this Saturday, I think it was, with the kids. We sat there and we had a blast. Even the 3-year-old was throwing clay around, and she had she was stuffing a bunch of Sculpey on a bottle and was cramming just about every single eyeball she could get her hands on in Dad's little box here. But you know, it's planting a seed. It's calm. You're together. It's really cool thing to share with your kids, and especially when they take an interest. And plus, they can make some pretty cool stuff. You know, if you show them a few basic techniques that you use, they'll surprise you. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I put some baby oil in a cap. Alright, this is my nose. Alright, and kind of, I don't know, not quite sure what I'm going to round it, but see what I'm doing here, and it's rough, and it's got some tool marks and everything on it, but I put that baby oil, clay softener on there, and I'm taking my brush, and I'm moving, and I'm swiping, and I'm getting it all wet and broken down, and you'll find that when you do that, you can look at little areas where I got some buildup of clay there. See, now it's starting to get smoothing out, alright, and I'm able to shape it. I'm actually able to shape the nose, clean out the nostrils and clean that up, alright, and refine it. So I actually use clay softener, baby oil, as one of my sculpting tools. And I can round out that nostril and clean up the edge. Alright. And yeah. And so when I put the detail work, go up here and smooth that a little bit. When I started doing the detail work on the eyebrows and stuff like that, I'll put the indentations in, you know, like the wrinkles and stuff like that, and then I'll come back and then I'll really get in there with the baby oil or clay softener, and it just makes it more softer, more like realistic, like real wrinkles, you know. Alright, so get that cleaned up. Alright, so I think for now, that's the other thing too, is I get a basic nose on there. He's roughed out. This is roughed out. Alright, nothing spectacular, but it's setting a stage, you know, because now I'm going to put the eyes in. Alright, and then I'm going to see, okay, well, the eyes are telling me he looks like he could be this or something, you know what I'm saying? So the sky's the limit. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll out some little balls of clay. And that's the thing, you can make, you know, a realistic type of eye. Like anatomic, you know, anatomically correct, if you will, like in proportion to your subject matter. Or you could do exaggerated. You could do big old bug eyes. You could do 3 eyes, 4 eyes. You could do one eye bigger than the other. In fact, we could do that too. We could do one eye bigger than the other. Let's do that. You could do cross eye, you know, but this is here when we make the clay eyes, we're going to go in after, we're going to paint them. Once this whole thing's done, it's out of the oven, it's cured, and we have it where we want. Maybe not. See, that's the thing. I just tried it, and to me it didn't look right. So what I probably needed to do was, if I wanted a character with the big eyes, one eye bigger than the other, I know what I wanted to have done it before I put the nose on. Alright, so I just stuck them on there. They're not even really held on there, like it's sticky in the back. But alright, so we got that there. So now I'm going to take a thin snake of clay and go up underneath it and create the lower eyelid. The top, I think it's going to be like sunken in a bit to where you know it's there, but you don't see it. So let's see how this works out here. I've got a couple pieces here. Cut that there. Alright, so now I just got this little piece here, probably too long. And then what I do is I'll just get over here and I'll stick it up on the edge of the eye, like this, and then wrap it around. Alright, so I need to cut it up there. Before I get too far ahead, I'm going to blend it in here. And I'm going to need a tool because there's not enough space there where the nostril is. I don't want to really mess that up too much. So I'm going to take a sculpting tool and get in there and pull this stuff down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this a little bit. Then when I come back, I'm going to explain to you what I did and everything and how it's looking and stuff like that. But this is one of millions of ways you can do this, ladies and gentlemen, and it is super cheap. I cannot stress how cheap it is. All right, and it's fun, and like I said, you can do it with your family. You can build a whole collection of these things. So, anyways, guys, hang tight. We're coming back here in a second. All right, guys, and this is what I ended up with. Crazy looking little fella there. Bug eyes, they're exaggerated, huge, like bulging eyelids and stuff like that. He's a weird looking dude. And I was trying some of the pointed polymer teeth that I made, but I ended up going with some of these acrylic teeth. I like that look. He's got a huge bottom lip and super exaggerated features. But still, he's not going to look much. He's going to really pop and come to life when we paint him. Alright, so what's he going to be? Well, I decided on a mushroom. Alright, this is his mushroom hat, or the lid. This is the lid inside, guys. Alright, so I just sculpted, the cap of a mushroom here, and it's gonna. I made sure that it would still screw on the bottle, that there was enough clearance and everything. So, we're ready to pop this thing in the oven, and then we're gonna go ahead and assemble. We're gonna put them together and paint them, and that'll be fun too. All right, guys, hang tight when we come back. This will be out of the bottle, or this will be out of the oven, and like I said, it's gonna be at 275 for 20 minutes. That's all we need. And it'll be done. Okay, we need to let it cool down before we touch it and work with it again. All right, so hang tight. All right, guys, and we're back, and here we have our little mushroom dude. Really weird looking dude. He's really weird looking. Bug eyes, super saggy eyelids and stuff like that, and those big teeth and everything. He's got that big mushroom cap on the top. I like it. Whimsical. But it's really going to come to life when we paint it. And I decided I'm just going to go throw caution to the wind. I'm going to go with some zany colors, alright? I'm thinking of making him green, and then with a neon purple, maybe with some little green dots or something. Who knows? We're going to see. But I'm going to go ahead and start painting this. And and I'm going to come back and show you basically how he's going to look, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do after that. So I'm not going to get into the painting with you guys. I've done that with some of the other videos. Just paint it how you want to. You can look back on so many of my videos where I show you dry brushing techniques and everything else. But there are steps after we paint it, so you hang tight because you're going to miss that, and they're important steps. So we'll see you in a second. All right, guys, are you ready? Here is our little guy here. Alright, our little mushroom man. Okay, so what I did to get this was I took some lime green acrylic and I mixed some black in it and made a dark green and painted the whole thing to give me my base and shadows. And then I took that same lime green, and without mixing it with anything, I dry brushed over the top of it to make it pop and give it its highlights. I get paint on the teeth, alright, it's inevitable, I think. No matter how careful you are, especially when you're getting around in the back, to get paint on the teeth. It's okay because all you need to do is take like a razor knife or something pointed, and your sculpting tools or whatever, and scrape it. It'll come right off. I could probably get a little bit more off. The eyes I used, it's called King's Yellow or King's Gold. King's Gold, and that's an Apple Barrel product. And then I just painted a little black dot, and then to give the eyes some life, you just want to put a little tiny dot of white just to give it some life. Okay, then The mushroom cap, I painted it like a beige underneath and then dry brushed like an antique white underneath, because you know mushrooms have that, you know, they're white underneath and they have those little ribs, we'll call them. Then I painted the whole thing wild iris, which is a dark purple, to give us that. And then on the top I took neon purple. This is a folk art color, matte finish acrylic paint, neon purple. All right, and with that, I just put little dots all over the mushroom. So there we have it, our little mushroom guy stash bottle. Okay, but we have a few more steps to do. Super easy, but it's going to help to finish this off and make the presentation of it so much nicer. Okay, one of the things we're going to do, and I found this at Dollar Tree in rolls. They have rolls of felt there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you can take some white glue. I'm going to use Mod Podge on the bottom. And then you're just going to put it on there. And then I'm going to cut around it so that it has a nice, soft, finished bottom. It'll help protect it, and it'll also, you know, it's nicer to put on tables and stuff like that. To finish this thing off, I'm going to take, here I've got, this is a Krylon product, but you can use pretty much whatever you want. This is a matte finish clear coat. Okay, so when my painting is done and I am happy with the whole thing, I check it over, see what I need to touch up. If I don't have any touching up to do, then I go ahead and I spray the whole thing with the clear coat, and that's going to seal and protect the paint. Okay, you're still going to want to be careful with these. You know, you're not going to want to put it in, keep it in like your purse, or this is made for something that needs to be set on a shelf and taken care of, because yes, even though you clear coated it, you can still scratch the paint off, you know, so it needs to be handled gently. You know, it's a piece of art. It's a functional piece of art, but you want to be gentle with it. So, alright guys, so I'm going to finish this thing off. I'm going to clear coat it, and I'm going to put that on there. We're going to show you the finished product, so hang tight. He is done. Okay, there he is. Our little mushroom guy. Alright, he's kind of looking up. And so I put the clear coat on him, so now he's better protected. And he is still functional. I can unscrew him and put stuff in there and screw it back on. And then I just put a little bit of felt on the bottom. That white's because the glue's still wet. It's gonna dry clear. And so that's it. Yeah. And this is relatively cheap. It's cheap. The bottles for $1 at the dollar store. While you're there, pick up your felt, some white glue if needed, some Sculpey. And pretty much something to use for sculpting tools, some bit of paint, and time. You know, the teeth, you can buy those, are relatively cheap on Amazon or eBay, or you can make your own, or you don't have to have teeth at all. You can have just a smile, or, you know, you can make a grin inside the mouth. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. It's fun and cheap. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Please go check out my brothers Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks and Vic Springston from Monster Misfits. If you haven't done so already, like and subscribe and hit the bell. It's going to notify you when I upload another video, and there's so much more to come. So until next time, guys, I really appreciate you. Peace.